Hello, my name is Chris Dunning-Walton, and I am the managing director of a recruitment company called InfoSec People, a specialist in the cybersecurity sector. And I'm also one of the directors of Cynam, which is the platform for cyber tech innovation and the community that's here in Cheltenham and Gloucestershire. Absolutely delighted to be here talking with you virtually. And hopefully I'm going to be able to give you some tips and tricks and things to think about as you're starting your career in cybersecurity, which is a fantastic place to be working right now, but also has a big future as well as the sector grows and evolves. So the kind of things we're going to be talking about today are what skills employers are looking for, what makes somebody employable, what employers are looking for in you as a person, some qualifications that could be good and for you to start thinking about at this stage, and also things like technical skills and non-technical skills to be thinking about as well as you enter the sector. I'm going to try and share my screen so that you can see some data and some things as well throughout the brief presentation. But I hope you find it useful as you move forward. So what skills are employers looking for? Well, firstly, I'd like to say that at the moment, cybersecurity, despite COVID, has been a very challenging one. Cybersecurity is still a real growth sector in the UK, with a lot of careers, a lot of opportunities still opening out at this moment in time. Companies of any size right now are having to rely on technology more than ever before as they go through rapid digitalization, as they embrace things like cloud, virtual working, and having people working from home. That's really become the new norm. So cybersecurity is naturally a necessary part of the new norm of what companies are having to go through in using technology much more effectively because of the challenges that COVID-19 has put on the whole of the UK, really. So the good news is that in the cybersecurity sector right now, there's hiring in every single discipline you can think of, really. So as somebody starting out in the sector, that really is good news for you. That's me. Let me move forward for you. So the current live vacancies that we've got are, as we were looking at the industry this end, just through a couple of websites that advertise the jobs: junior threat intelligence professionals, junior penetration testers, junior security analysts, junior security engineers, junior business analysts. There are a multitude of different ways that you can enter the industry. So there really isn't an area that's not hiring right now for cybersecurity. Really hot areas of growth, anything to do with cloud and digital security, that's a real area of growth at this moment in time. Training and awareness is also a really key area of growth within cybersecurity, as businesses realize that cybersecurity is not just a technical challenge, it's also a challenge from a cultural point of view, from a personal point of view, around how people use technology as well. So for people who are not technical, that might be a route to really consider, and actually is a real need at this moment in time, bridging the gap between deeply technical challenges and the challenge of how people use technology as well. So a real growth area at the moment. So what makes somebody employable? I'm a big believer that whatever you do in life, whatever you do as a career, if you can find an area that you're really, really passionate about and make that your job, you will never have a bad day. If you can make your hobby or your lifetime passion something that you actually make money from, you'll be a very happy person in life. So the most important advice I can give from all of today would be to find something that you are passionate about, that you want to be involved with, that you think you can get up and feel enthused about, because that passion will make you eminently employable. And someone will always pay for an expert, whether that's in cybersecurity training and awareness, whether it's in skiing, if you want to be a ski instructor, whether you want to be a gardener, whether you want to be a surfing instructor. I would love to be a surfing instructor, not good enough at surfing. But the most important thing for anybody going into a career, coming out of school, university, or moving into a new walk of life, is to try and find something that you're passionate about. If you can find something you're passionate about, that will resonate with people that want to employ you. Okay, so you don't need to know all the answers, by the way. You don't need to know, I want to be a penetration tester. I've always wanted to be a penetration tester. If you do want to be a penetration tester, fantastic, great. But you might just know that you want to be in the cybersecurity sector, not quite sure what that looks like just yet. But what you don't want to be doing is working in data analytics or working in threat research. So it's just as good an answer is to say, well, I'm not interested in these areas, but I'm really interested in these areas, as it is to have an absolute understanding of what you want to do. But the most important thing is that you're actually thinking about what you would enjoy, what you feel your skills are going to be matched against, and taking action to find a way to enter that area. Also at this level, when we're talking about what skills employers are looking for, we're not just talking about technical skills, we're not just talking about what you've learned, but it's also about how you can acquire new skills as well. That's what employers are really after. And the kind of areas, the softer areas that are absolutely critical for employers being able to get excited about you as an individual are you passionate about the subject? I talked about that just now, and that can come through by demonstrating that passion. You know, what have you done to learn about that particular job role? What have you done in your spare time to investigate the tools you need to learn more about that? Who have you talked to in your network of people and contacts and friends and family who maybe work in that sector at this moment in time? You know, second part is around being proactive. And I've just talked about that. The more proactive you can be in learning more about what that kind of job would entail, whether it's going to be right for you, and finding out about the kinds of people that are in that industry, the better that can be. Curiosity as well. Employers love people who are curious, people who can solve problems, who aren't just happy going with the status quo. Don't get me wrong. There's always a place for people who don't want to challenge things, but also very good thing is to be thinking laterally about can we do this slightly better. Enthusiasm is something that a lot of the companies that we work with, when they're talking to potential candidates and people they want to hire, if they could find somebody who's really enthusiastic, not just about the job, but about the company that they're going to be working for, that's a really important and key recipe to whether or not they actually want to hire that person. You know, the dreaded answer of, well, what do you want to do and why do you want to come and work with our company? The worst answer you can give is, I don't know. Because it really doesn't show any enthusiasm, it doesn't show any passion, doesn't show any real interest in why you're there and what that company can do for you as a career. And that's also really, really key. The technical skills are obviously very key in certain areas within cybersecurity. So if you've got a technical aptitude in whether it's coding or you've got a natural inquisitive nature that means you like to break things, there's always going to be some interesting opportunities for you in cybersecurity. But I always say that if you can match those technical skills with the softer skills around, you know, passion, proactivity, being curious and being enthusiastic, that will stand you in really, really good stead. But remember, it's a two-way street. So if you're speaking to a company about a new opportunity and something that you're interested in, make sure that it's a company for you, because you're likely going to be working for that new company, that new employer, for maybe a third of your life. And when I say a third of your life, I mean a third of your time of your life. Gone are the days now that actually you get a job for life. And the average time for people working in the industry, the average tenure between joining a new company is about 2.5 years actually in cybersecurity. So it's not a job for life anymore, but it's certainly a job where you're going to be working the better part of 37, maybe 40 hours a week at. So you need to make sure that that employer is somebody that you want to work with. So questions around, you know, how can you help me to become the best version of myself? How can you help me along my route of growth and development? You know, what other new graduates or starters or apprentices have worked for your company previously, and where are they now? These are all really good questions to ask, so that you're vetting whether this is a company that you want to work for, which is a really, really key ingredient at the end of the day. You've got to find a company that not only gives you a platform to enter the industry, but also to stay there and to grow. So always make it a two-way conversation, and consider the company culture if that really matches you. Training and development is also a really key area, actually, and I'm going to talk about that from a qualification point of view. Qualifications are very important in cybersecurity for certain people. I say that with a little bit of a clenched fist, because some people really covet in cybersecurity qualifications. Why? Usually, if we're talking in a technical capacity, technical people really covet mastery. They like to know that what they're doing is at a high level. They like to get a badge that says that it's a high level. That's no bad thing. But also, I would encourage you not to get badges for badges' sake. Some of the most talented cybersecurity experts I know in the world, in the industry, don't have any certifications to the name at all, but they don't even need them. So be careful in just getting badges for badges' sake. But at this stage, there is no bad area to getting any qualifications or certifications that you can. I think it's Warren Buffett who says the best investment is, you can't see it on your screens there probably, but the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. And I totally agree with that. So whatever route you're going down, there are several different training and certification bodies and partners that can start you off with some baseline certification. I've got two on the screen here, Immersive Labs, who do some fantastic labs for student digital cybersecurity. Their Cybersecurity Academy is great. A lot of it is free. And Immersive Labs are a great growth company and a shining example of a scale up in the Southwest, actually, in cybersecurity, and they're doing a fantastic job. A lot of you may well have heard of them. There's also Cybery. They do some fantastic work in and around cybersecurity training and development. Caps Lock are a new cyber scale up, actually, that are looking to offer people training and development in cybersecurity. And what they do is there's always been a difficulty in paying for quite expensive certifications in cybersecurity upfront and then trying to get a job. So what Caps Lock's model is that they give you the training and development, so the certification to demonstrate that you can enter the industry. And when you're earning a certain amount of money, then you pay that back, just like you do with a student loan, for example. So you get you graduate from university, you start paying it back your student loan when you start earning more money. The Caps Lock have a really cool opportunity for you to check out there as well. So I hope that helps. There are a number of different baseline certifications you can look if you look to do if you look hard enough. Some are free, which is great. Some require a little bit of investment, but that's not a bad thing either. So that's about it. I hope that's been a whistle-stop tour, really, of some of the things I'd say are worth thinking about as you enter the industry. But attitude, appetite, aptitude, the 3 A's. I cannot emphasize how important those things are for anybody who's entering any industry, really. And those 3 things don't take any kind of technical training. Okay. And in order to be enthusiastic, you don't have to be somebody who's very animated to be enthusiastic. You could be very quiet about being enthusiastic, but you could demonstrate being enthusiastic through what I found out about this, about your company, about this, about the job that I'm applying for, about this is where I want to go. And I'm really passionate about that. Doesn't mean you have to be very loud about being enthusiastic. You can be enthusiastic in your own way. So be true to yourself. Find something you can be passionate about. Definitely think about entering the industry, because it really is a fantastic time to be in cybersecurity, despite all the challenges that 2020 has brought. And I wish you every success in finding a career that you can really enjoy and be passionate about.